now being 6 o'clock, we're gonna open up the North Carver Water District, posted in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20B. It's being videocast by Cable Access TV. The adequate for attendees. So I just wanted to make it clear for attendees that public comments for public comment gives you the opportunity. If you're a town official, to please raise your hand, all right? Let me know you'd like to speak and let me go ahead and address you first to find out what you want to talk about, to make sure it's relevant to the information that we have. If you do not follow this, okay, I will warn you. If you do it again, I will call to have you removed. This is our business meeting and interruptions will not be allowed, okay? It goes for the citizens too, so I just want to make people perfectly clear that I won't put up with that. Whether it's a citizen or it's a town official, I'll give them the respect that they deserve, but they need to request to be spoken to, the meeting. All right, that being said, I'll open up to public comment. Anybody want to public comment here?
Go ahead, I'll say something.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to stand up?
No, just,
So I
Name.
really want to urge you guys.
Name.
Oh, Mary Dormer, 162 Clement Street, sorry.
and just to let you know, you don't have to give your name or your address prior to speaking at a meeting. Public comments for public comment, you don't have to really put your name in. It's a courtesy, it's all it is, but you don't have to.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Everybody knows Mary.
Yeah. I do want to urge you guys to really, well, I know you guys are doing everything that you can to get the North Carver Water District up and running. I was a little bit disturbed after the last select board meeting because the day after, the Middleborough test results were put up underneath the North Carver Water District on the town website. And I know you guys don't have the capability of doing that, so it came from the select board office. And under it, it said that they were in compliance with the Massachusetts maximum contaminant level. And while that is partially true, it's not wholly true. The numbers for PFOS, I believe, it may have been PFOA. Both PFOS and PFOA are on the toxic list under the EPA. So that brings it under CERCLA and also the Safe Drinking Water. So while the EPA is giving the towns and the states time to come into compliance, this brings it to a whole other level because our water here in Carver does not have any PFAS in it at the moment. And so to be pumping water with PFAS into the homes in North Carver after everything that we have been through and after waiting for as long as we have for municipal water, and then to insult us and to say that, and I'm not talking about you, for the select board to insult us and to say, well, it's in compliance, we're getting half the story. And I understand it because I'm always on the phone with Jim McLaughlin and the DEP. I'm calling the EPA. I'm reading everything out there. And I also had to do all this research in order to get a filtration system for my own home because it was taking so long for us to get municipal water. And I really just think that, you know, there's no way for anybody to know what well the water from Middleborough is coming in. And all of the wells in Middleborough have PFAS in them. All of them.
I can't speak to that, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's on there, it's on the DEP website. It's all there, it's all in black and white. And yes, it's below the maximum contaminant level, but Massachusetts has said, we will come in compliance to that. And those levels are very low, and they're urging every town to start working towards it. And I think the town as a whole needs to come together and say, we have to fix this problem up in North Carver. And I know you guys are doing a great job, you really are, and I'm so glad that we finally have somebody fighting for us. And that are paying attention, not that you guys didn't before, but I know that there was a lot of pushback from the select board, which I'm very disappointed in. So that's all I have to say, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, there being none. Discussion vote on the meeting minutes of September 18th. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at those?
Yes.
All right, we got, just let you know that we got those from the select board's office, from them. So, although it has their whole meeting in there too, just want to make sure that you understand that. All right, they did have a draft thing on the bottom here, but that was for them. So they have to vote their own meeting minutes, and I don't think they've voted these in yet. So we're just voting in the North Carver Water District ones, not anything that they did.
I'll make a motion to accept the North Carver Water District Commission meeting minutes for October 1st, 2024.
I wasn't here, so.
Oh, they weren't, all right, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yes. Sweet. All right. And the next one is the October 1st. You guys get a chance to take a look at those ones?
Was that the meeting minutes?
Yeah.
Did I grab the wrong? Yeah, that was, I'm sorry, I misread that then. It was the 18th.
Yeah. This one,
The 18th was with the select board.
yeah, did I say it differently?
Well, yeah, I said, yeah.
The first is the ones that I sent you
The
yesterday.
first was what she sent us yesterday.
I went by my thing.
Yeah.
I went for September 18th.
Yeah, so I did the meeting minutes from last week's meeting. Which didn't involve the select board, so
Okay,
we're fine with that then.
all right, so
And
we're
we're
okay with September 18th. He wasn't at that meeting anyways.
Yep.
You're okay with those meeting minutes?
We just voted on the October 1st ones, that's what I just
I
called
thought it was
them.
18. Didn't I do the
You
18th?
did say the 18th.
I did say the 18th.
But these are for the 18th, are they all enclosed together?
Do you
It
have the
should be two
18th
separate.
from the
It
select
should be
board?
two separate ones.
Okay, yep, that's the, yep, that's the 18th. So,
Do we want to revote or?
no, because we voted on the first.
No, we voted on the 18th. We haven't voted on the first yet.
Did I say meeting minutes of October 1st?
I don't honestly remember. Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read right from this. So this one's all set.
Can we do a new vote just to make sure it's?
All right.
Well, now we can vote on the 18th.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep. Now I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for North Carver Water District portion of September 18th, 2024. That was also not yet.
Yeah.
This included the select board, but we're not voting on.
They weren't right.
Yes,
Okay. Now I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
make a motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
For October 1st.
September 18th. We already did the first. That was the first one I mentioned, because I read off it.
Bob, you introduced it as voting for 9/18, but when he did the motion, he motioned for October 1st.
First.
All right, so,
Now,
okay. Now I understand what's going on. Oh, my God.
sorry.
Confusion me.
So I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for North Carver Water District on the 18th of September.
I'll second that motion on the 18th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, confuse me today. All right, this is how my day's going, great. All right, next one, bills payable for MIA property liability workman's comp invoice. So we got this one here, and I could have sworn we voted for this
We did.
already, but they want us to sign this, and I thought we did, but we'll do it again. So the total price is $29,981. I'll entertain a motion to pay for this liability insurance.
Make that motion.
Second it?
Okay, discussion, I just have one thing, I did call this guy, Luke Miller, very nice guy. I had asked him a question about the NSTAR, and the USDA rural development. He said that we should keep those on, don't take them off, all right, just to cover ourselves,
Okay.
so, that's why. So, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, all right. Yeah.
Did they give us a credit too on $350? Or some multiple credits for? paying?
Yeah, those were, they're already included in the cost,
Okay.
and leave the folder here, Paul.
Yes.
Leave the folder here. There you go. If not, I'll get deep doo-doo. All right. All right, so we're going to bypass number 5 for right now and go to number 6, because the lawyer has not jumped on yet. This goes in here, this goes here, and that there, so I don't screw it up. All right, 148A Plymouth Street. They got a call from the health board about running their line, I think last Tuesday. But they only gave them like a day or two notice that they were gonna come and do it. You can't do that. I mean, we all work jobs and everything and need to plan for that. But when they had called, they had said that they were gonna put the meter in the house. I sent an email to Jill and the health agent there to let them know that the meter should go in a meter pit by the road so they can drive by and take the readings from that. Not to bring it all the way to the house, because you don't wanna drive up that road and around to try to get it and then try to drive back with it. So I gave that to them. It has not been installed yet, but we're closer to getting them water.
So I'm gonna reach out to Mr. Bumpus and the contractor that the town has on contract for the lines, so they can get on the same page about where the meter pit's gonna go and what's gonna be done for the meter pit.
Right.
And then at that point, they can set up an appointment with the homeowner and say, this is the day we wanna do it.
You need to give them at least a week's notice.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
Well,
just wait a couple of days to say.
Yeah,
hey.
so I'll let them know that, you gotta, give the homeowner at least a week's notice to come
Right.
up and, before you start work. But, I'll get those two on the same page, we'll meet together during the week, and then we
Okay.
can walk the property and mark everything out where it's gonna go.
No
Make a
problem.
plan. Okay.
All right, so thank you very much for doing that. The next, number 7, is discussion on negotiations with Middleborough for future water use. We already allowed Eric to negotiate for us with Middleborough, but I think he should get our opinion of where we want to go with this, so he's prepared when he goes into these negotiations with Middleborough town officials. So, Doug, is there anything that you think we should negotiate with Middleborough for, and how things should go?
Yeah, just want to make sure we're not using the same meters. I think you're on top of that.
Okay,
Meters. That'll make it a lot easier for reading, and it's on,
right.
they're updated with what most towns choose, right? Isn't that the majority of what towns are going to? Okay.
Yep, so, just with that being said, the way, if we start collecting Middleborough on a permanent basis, they're going to send us one bill from that meter pit at the road. And then the town will turn around and read all the meters. Middleborough will not be reading meters, it's going to be the town or the North Carver Water District, which is number 11, we'll discuss at that point. So the meters will all be us. We will have to deal with that, changing meters out. They already said they're not interested in doing that for us. We still can discuss if they want to purchase the meters for us at a reduced rate of some sort for that. So, is that it for you, or?
That and just the backflow.
That's gonna be all on us.
Okay,
That'll all be on us.
yeah.
All right, they're only gonna provide us water, okay? All right, my turn. Actually, do you wanna go first? or-
So I want to get some more clarification on the water quality tests over to us.
Okay.
Where it lines up with standards required by the state,
Mhm.
federal government. See where it's at.
All right, so, okay, water quality. So, me, I have some concerns about the last meeting that we had with Middleborough. One of the things is, they said that they provide us water in perpetuity. That word scares me. In my opinion, perpetuity means forever. And being forever, I have some concerns, because what if our system comes back up? And they said they would shut it off, but that word perpetuity concerns me. Because they also said that they wouldn't provide water to the urban renewal plan area. And that urban renewal plan area isn't just the Route 44 developments property. that encompasses, Dunkin' Donuts, that other property, Abishon's, across the street there too. So it covers that whole area. And the plan was that, there could be a hotel put up, which would need water, if it, in the future or whatnot. Who knows what other commercial buildings will get there, which would mean they're gonna need water. And if Middleborough can't provide water to these other ventures coming up, how are we gonna do that in the future? So I've really thought about this and said, you know what, I think we need to get our system back up and running quick. Because we have emergency order that's good for 2 years and nothing really was done for a year. And we're under the gun now, and I hate being under the gun. But if I would like Middleborough to provide us water for a minimum of 3 years, that allows us enough time to get our act in gear and know that we'll have water available to our residents that are needed. But also that if our system gets back up and running, whether we change the system over or we just fix what we have now and we're able to provide water consistently, that we be able to stop the contract with them and start water at a certain time frame. I don't want it in perpetuity. Then with them, I also want to see that they're paid for everything that they've done for us. Everything from doing, they put a $10,000 price tag, and I'm clear that's not enough for what they've done for us. So I think they need to recalculate their charges for us in our town.
I think they were just trying to work with us on it. It's probably materials and labor, so it's not costing the town. And then it's basically covering their costs.
Right.
So that payroll, if they got a guy working 20 hours, they're probably figuring 20 hours, whatever materials that came out of them, it's covered. So
Right.
the town of Middleborough is not supporting.
And that's what I don't want. I don't want Carver, Middleborough to support Carver's things. We have to take on our own roles and responsibilities and bills and payments. So with that being said,
And it's probably not to the penny, you know, if it's
No,
$5,700, they may
yeah.
say 6,000.
right. But even still, it's just the fact that they've done a lot for us in dealing with the DEP and doing all the paperwork that goes along with it. That's all takes time for it. Then the other thing is the added 30 days until we can get a operator in. And I hope the Zoom is right. It says it started.
I think you have to click on something to let them join in. I haven't used Zoom in a while.
'Cause I clicked start.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah?
Hi, it's Bob. I've been listening to your Zoom.
Okay. You're not on the screen though. All right.
Okay.
He's driving.
All right.
I turned my camera on, but I am driving, so I'm not looking down at my camera.
All right. As long as I know you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. I feel much better.
Yeah.
So that extra 30 days that we need, that's the other thing. So that's for future water use. Since you're on, we're talking about negotiations with Middleborough for future water use.
Yeah. I've been listening to your discussion.
Okay, so if you have anything legalese or whatever for it, if you can talk to Eric about that, that
Yep.
would be great. If you want to give us any insight right now, you can,
Okay.
dealing with that.
Well, look, I mean, obviously we need them to continue to act as the temporary water operator, okay? And I think we ought to have a written agreement, and I think we ought to pay them whatever is reasonable, whatever they, as long as it's reasonable. And, then, and I think our solution is, I've tried to create a draft long-term distribution operator RFP, which I don't think you've got to that discussion yet, but, it's pretty comprehensive, what I put together. And the only thing that needed to be done left is to determine scope, a scope of services. And I took notes from our last meeting where we talked about the types of things we wanted them to do, but when I looked at some other water distributors' contracts, there was a lot more that we would normally expect a water distributor to do, so, or water operations distributor to do. So, I was hoping we could discuss that, but,
Yep.
in terms of Middleborough, I think it's me reaching out to Greg Corbo, sitting down with their water people. If they want to have their town administrator present, that's fine with me. They're situated a little differently from us because we're a water district. We don't have to have Glenn Cannon with us, but again, I think we're all trying to be on the same page. We want an extension of that agreement. It sounded to me like they were never going to leave us high and dry. So I think they're amenable to doing that. Yeah, anything else you guys want me to negotiate with Eric, we'll do that.
Yeah, so any discussions with Middleborough and Greg Corbo or whatnot, Eric should be available for that.
Yep.
And like I
Yep,
said, you have his contact information.
Yep, I do.
So you guys can work on that.
Yeah, just let me know. I'm on retainer with the district.
Okay.
All right, any other issues with discussion on negotiations with Middleborough for future water use? I have none. None, okay, we're good for that. So you have some marching orders. Next, we'll go back to 5, because this is important. Discussion and vote to advertise for a distribution operator for the North Carver Water District, review and vote for the RFP created by council. So, I know you guys just got this. I don't know how far you got into it. I went through the whole thing. There's a lot. There's a lot to it. So, some of the,
Well, I tell you this, it's probably more than what we needed, but it's always best to start with more and we can pare it down, okay? And what I really could use from you all is a view of the description of the town of Carver, a description of the North Carver Water District, and then your thoughts on the scope of services. The first document that I sent was a complete RFP along with a draft contract and along with a scope of services from another community, okay? It was multiple pages, like 5 or 6. I don't think we need all of that, but we may need more than what we previously discussed also. The other idea that I kind of need some guidance from you all is, do you want to do 1 3-year contract with an operator, or do you want to do a 3-year contract with multiple options? Because when you bid this out, you'll get people that propose to do for 3 years, and you might get someone that doesn't want to be beyond 3 years, and you might get somebody who does 3 years, and then someone that's willing to do 3 years with the options. So I just picked 2 because I thought it was simpler, but you could even do more than that, do more types of bid options. But what I did is I put in all the evaluative criteria that we would normally need to do to pick a person. First of all, we got to make sure that they've got the proper experience, and then if you get proper experience, then you open up their price, and then you see whether that's something we can afford. And the more we ask, the more it's going to cost.
okay, so, the way the packet was put together, everything was stapled together. I think we have to have this discussion here now.
Yep.
Do we want to go with just a water distribution operator contract? That they just turn around and do the distribution side from Middleborough on to us, to take on doing all the paperwork for DEP, doing all the checks on cross-line contamination, lead documentation, there's another one that's due that I sent a service line inventory that's due, October 16th. I already emailed them about that. So these are the things that I've been trying to say, hey, DEP, there's no way we're gonna do this. We can't do this. We don't have anybody to do it. And we need to have a time frame that we can do this in. So we have this distribution operator contract, which pretty much covers everything that we talked about at our meeting, for that. But there's another issue with this. Middleborough's not gonna cover the urban renewal plan area.
Okay, yes, I had a question about that.
Yes,
From the discussion that we had last week, I didn't hear them say yes or no. I thought it was something that needed to be discussed. Did they say no?
oh, I'm pretty sure it's a no.
Okay.
So what was provided to me today by a resident was a newspaper from Middleborough area saying that they have 110,000 square foot commercial building and office space being built in
Yeah.
Middleborough. They also have the MBTA housing issue
Community.
that they have,
Right.
that they're working on too for other housing developments. So they're being pushed in a lot of different ways for water, for their
Right,
town.
I heard them talking about that last week.
Right, so, and this is just putting it out there that, Route 44 Development is looking at starting their work in April to complete the road going in.
Yeah, I saw
and start-
that, I saw those emails.
And start building.
That you sent. Yeah,
And start building, so if we don't have water for him in that property, we could be in
yeah,
trouble.
we'll have to deal with it, I get
Right.
it. Okay.
But
But, you know, look at, our water withdrawal permit allows us to pull 100,000 gallons of water out of the same aquifer, right?
yes,
Okay. And we got a water withdrawal permit because we wanted to be able to service about 100,000, users that require approximately 100,000 gallons
Correct.
per day, right?
correct.
I mean, we may not get there for a while, but, and I don't know how many gallons are we using today approximately, do we know?
All right, so I asked, I can only say from,
I know without the meter, you don't know exactly how much
So-
that
so
is.
from Plymouth Street, just the commercial development, all right, they're pulling out 18,000 gallons per day, 18,563 gallons a day. All right,
Okay.
that's just the businesses alone. The residents, on the other hand, I haven't even gotten into those ones yet,
But we have 150 accounts, residential accounts?
130 something.
130, okay, so if you assume, water usage of
Buck and a half a day,
Right,
probably 440 gallons per day per household,
150 a day.
150 a day.
150?
Yeah.
150? Okay, so we're well under the 100,000.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
I mean, I think we're only at about 48,
43, 44, I think.
yeah, somewhere around 43, whatever. Somewhere around
Plus the
43,000.
plus the 18,000 gallons. So, we're gonna be looking, if they wanna, so one of the things I heard Middleborough say was, they're looking to amend their permit to be able to pull more water out of their thing, so they can accommodate not only us, but others that they're looking for. So, I asked when we were at the meeting if there was anything we can do to help them do that. Because I think for at least for the interim period of time, we would like them to be able to support our existing users and the foreseeable development.
Yeah. That's something that you'll have to negotiate with Eric for.
Yeah, I think
And I
we'll
hope
have
we
to
can.
discuss it with them, and I hope that we can do that. Because if we can't get it from them, then I think we have to go back to the plan that we have to, reactivate the water source.
So, and that's where we have to look at and say, do we go with the water distribution operator contract now, put that out as an RFP now? Knowing that Middleborough will take care of our water and what we have right now. And then we go for a full-time operator after that, but we have to understand that the distribution operator is not gonna run the water plant. And not running the water plant, how long is it gonna take us to get the water plant up and running? All right, just what we have now. All right, how long is it gonna take us to get it up and running, so we can provide water to him in, I'll say, by June or July of next year.
But what happens if Middleborough is willing to provide that development water?
Right, and that's fine. We go with the distribution operator, we send that out now for it. But if then, we need this agreement with them quite soon to determine if they're not, then we have to go forward with a full-fledged, open up the system and start running that system up and getting it up and running. And the longer we wait to do that,
Well, I think what's in your best interest, provided financially we can afford to do it, is to extend our agreement to purchase water from Middleborough, to make sure that that agreement includes the amount of water we need to support that development that's, looks like it's reasonably foreseeable here. And, in the meantime, have a distribution operator that's capable of, servicing what we're planning to purchase from Middleborough, do the testing and all of those things. And I think we would want the flexibility in that distribution operator to be able to potentially operate the plant too.
Yeah, I think that'll fall in line if we have the operator in place to maintain and we get the RFP out for the engineering study. That's gonna come sooner than later. We need that to happen like now.
Yeah.
A good, full
Yeah,
idea.
well, I do,
Study.
I finished that RFP for the distribution operator on Friday.
Yep.
And I committed to doing the study next, and I'm already jumped into on that.
okay,
So,
Because it's a 100,000 gallon a day design plant.
right,
Once the membranes were fixed, and then it went offline, they were running it at full force, because you're supposed to run it
Right.
at 100,000 a day. It lasted 2 days, and it went offline. It couldn't handle 100,000 gallons a day. There were issues. 80, it was no problem. So, that's why we need an engineer to get in there. Let's see what this can run. What's he gonna need across the street? Give us a full scope of what he wants over there, because it's all gonna be state mandated on water use, water consumption. I mean, he's saying it's square footage, I need 150, whatever he said, I don't know what he said, 20,000 gallons a day, or, it all depends on what he's building.
right.
And that's all mandated by state.
And that's what we don't know. All we know is that he has 2 people willing to jump into that property now. Is what he told us, is he got 2 people willing to get in there, and it's something like 3,000 gallons a day, if that. So, I mean, maybe when you're negotiations, and we have a cap at like 50,000 gallons per day, that would cover us for his 2, until we get our acting gear to get the system up and running. But we need to include that urban renewal plan area, just for what's right now that we know about. That would allow him to sell his land and to sell these lots and continue on with it. Because if we can't, then we got a whole nother ballgame.
We're gonna need specifics. for
yeah,
that.
that property owner does not have the ability to develop a private water supply on his property because of environmental conditions, is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
But
So,
we're gonna need specifics on what he's building, because I don't wanna commit to, hey, Middleborough cap us at 50, and the guy puts something in that's gonna require. a
Yeah, does that
system.
developer have counsel that we could speak to?
yeah, it's him.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you an
Alright.
email and his phone number.
If we know the specifics on
Perfect.
those 2 on
Alright.
those 2,
So he has not told me who these 2 potential sales are. And that's fine, that's his prerogative for it.
we don't even need to know who it is, we just need
well-
to know what the design for water. That's all.
Well, he already said that. He already said it was somewhere around 3,000 gallons a day. It's not a whole heck of a lot. So that being said, we know, but the other side of that, if he goes to 100,000 gallons, that's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
All right, but no matter what, we're gonna have to do something with our water system, so what do you guys wanna do with this distributor operator contract? Do you wanna put that out now?
Yeah, we should put that out now. And I mean, like Doug was saying, a distribution operator, he's gonna maintain the DEP requirements for testing, cross-connection surveys, backflow testing, meter reads.
Yeah.
Well, so the other thing, well, we haven't gotten to meter reads yet, so, we can talk about that too. The way the agreement with the North Carver Water District and the town of Carver was, is that the town of Carver would take over the financing end of our, doing billing, stuff like that. They hired their own company to come in and do meter reads. All right, so in order for me to get the meter readings and whatnot, I have to go to the finance department for it. I don't think that's the best way of doing it. I think we should be doing the meter reads through us, and then we provide it to them. That way, we can see issues that are coming up right then and there,
And address it.
and address them right at that point, when we get the meter reads, say, okay, fine, we can address them instead of waiting for things to get addressed. So,
But if the town is doing that at no expense to us right now, why wouldn't we continue to allow that to happen, at least in the interim? And maybe aspirational, we do that, take that over, but, you know, Middleborough said they don't wanna do the meter readings. You got somebody doing it now. I don't see anything wrong with keeping that for at least the time being, at least until we get an operator in place.
right.
And then we can work that out with Carver, with the rest of the town.
So what I didn't see in the distribution one was they would be changing out the meters.
Yeah, we need to add that. I can add that in.
So we need that added in.
So a lot of towns send that out, because it's cost effective to put it out for bid. The meters, we can supply the meters,
Right, but that would be
RFP.
another RFP to do that, and there's a bunch that need to be.
You can,
filled.
by the way, you can probably buy those water meters not only through Middleborough, but you can buy those water meters probably through a state contract that doesn't have to be bid. Okay?
Yeah,
There's a statewide purchasing program where you can buy directly from a vendor that's on that list. And I'm sure there's a water meter company on that list.
Tax sales. That's
yeah, there's one.
Yeah.
It's TI Sales, and I called them, and they gave me I wanna say it was like 280 something or whatnot, and Middlewell's getting them for like 265 or 235,
Okay.
so. something
Well,
along
you can also enter an agreement with Middleborough that allows them to buy it and pass that along to us.
Yeah, that's
completely
what-
permissible.
That's what we put on for Eric to discuss with Middleborough about
Yep.
the meters.
Yep.
Purchasing them.
Yep.
So, all right, so the only thing is, all right, I guess that's fine. Then it
So we can
covers-
leave the meter read out for now on the distribution operator
Yeah.
RFP.
All right, we won't do that.
So distribution operation, DEP testing, cross connection surveys. The Middleborough, I don't want to do
Yeah.
that because of the commercial. I think they were real adamant about doing the cross connections at the meeting.
We'll discuss that on the
That's just the
other
commercial properties.
non-topic, not, any topic is not reasonably anticipated.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit more of that. So, that's fine with me, okay?
So if it's okay with you all, I'll contact Corvo in the morning and ask to set up a meeting with Eric ASAP,
Yes, please.
okay? I'll do that tomorrow.
Okay, and as for this water distribution contract,
You want me to try to finalize that? If I could get some
Yeah.
feedback from you all on just the general description of the town, make sure that that's accurate, then we can put this in the central register next week.
You want to keep it basic, a distribution operator, keep up with the DEP requirements. I mean,
I can make it, the scope of services is the only thing that we haven't finalized for that. And I can make it really simple.
yeah,
I mean,
So
the meter reads are being done by the town. We just gotta take care of the testing and fulfilling the DEP requirements.
so,
We can-
so,
we can
the
dump it.
scope of services, DEP requirements. All right, cross connection,
That's usually, what's that, twice a year then?
yeah,
Is twice a year, double check.
twice a year, yeah.
And backflows.
Backflows, yeah. And then,
And what about like problems with leaks or breaks or things like that? Carver's been taking care of that, right?
Middleborough, right?
Middleborough has,
Okay.
so,
How do we think that's gonna happen? I don't think they wanted any part of that. They just wanted to sell us water, right?
right.
Right.
So we're gonna need the distribution operator to assume responsibility for those issues, right?
Yes,
Leaks and breaks?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to outsource that stuff because we don't have our own equipment, right, to fix those things. Or, you know, the distribution operator may have that capacity to do it themselves, and then, you know, we're gonna pay on some basis for that.
right.
A lot of them sub it out to
They sub it out
a
too,
general
so.
contractors,
Yeah,
Holdley, stuff like that.
The, other thing is, that I'd like to put on there is, respond to, North Carver Water District, members.
yeah, we'll have them attend meetings of the North Carver Water District, and, you know, communication with commissioners.
So. Okay.
Do you want something like you had before, where you had a minimum number of hours a week they're in town, or do you care?
You know, as long as they're doing their job and they get everything done, I have no problem with it. About putting, because I mean, I don't think they could do 4 hours a day in the town to do all this.
It's probably 4 hours a week.
It's maybe 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like,
Is there a copy of the prior contract around somewhere too?
yeah, I can send you a copy of that. It's not the best.
Okay, well, I came up with a contract and I inserted it as an attachment to the RFP.
Right.
And I'd like to take that one and incorporate anything helpful from that into this new one, which I think is much better.
Yeah. Which is fine. I don't have a
Okay.
problem. Because I showed them the distribution. It was stapled all together, so they all
Okay.
see it now of what is there.
All right,
So I have no problem going forward with this as long as we add these other items that we added.
yep.
Do you guys want to motion on this now, or do you want to wait for the completed copy?
I'll make a motion right now, I wanna get it moving.
Yeah, you should.
All right, a motion to approve?
Make that motion.
Second it?
We got a motion to approve, second, discussion? All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's good. We passed that with the changes that we just discussed.
Yep,
And I'll get you a copy of the town and the description of the town and the description of the North Carver Water District. I'll use what they have to the DEP.
okay.
For that, I can send that to you. Prior contract. All right, that's done. We're getting there. All right, the engineering study, you're taking care of that now?
Yep, I'll do the engineering study RFP now.
All right, I do have to say with that, when I did talk to George McLaughlin about that,
Yep,
he's really interested in that, getting going to see what the possibilities are for the future, for him and his property. Also, what he did say to me on the phone is he's interested in helping to pay for a, water tower.
yeah, I saw that in your email.
So, but he is interested, but he wants other things in lieu of it. So, and that's something that we have no control over of it, but, it's something that's a discussion between the North Carver Water District, the town and him, in the future, because we don't know anything as of yet until we get this study back.
Okay.
All right, the next thing is number 9. Oh, you guys have anything you want to talk about, engineering study wise?
No.
Sorry.
No, the sooner the later, the
Right.
better on that. I mean, we
Yeah.
have a former engineer company that came in. I'm sure it's a little easier if we put, get that out to them as well.
Yeah. The next one is, emergency contact info for North Carver water users. I'm requesting that we ask the next billing cycle that a letter gets sent out to all of the users to supply us with a name, phone number, email address, for a contact person for them, all the users, in case of emergency, i.e. the last week, they had to shut the water system down, and trying to get a contact list to say, hey, we need all these people contacted, let them know that water's going down. We need that for Middleborough, if they're gonna shut the water down again, that we can contact them and say, hey, it's gonna be shut down. So, just looking for your support in that, so I can send that upstairs and say, hey,
Yeah, and I think, if we get all that contact information, they can put a group call together that'll
Correct.
just call them, reverse dial, just
Right.
those users.
Reverse 911.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reverse 911, just to North Carver.
yeah, we use that at the Sportsman Club. I forget, I wanna say it's like 10 cents a call or something like that, some stupid number. But, yeah, it's easy to set up. Once you set it up once, you're good forever, and just boom, just make your comment, send it just like a regular voicemail.
Yep.
All right, so that's that. I'll send an email upstairs to have that done. Okay. Garage door status, I sent you the email, they're waiting for the parts to come in. He's been giving you
He's got my information.
email and phone number. Couple of times I sent it to him, to 2 different people, I think it was too.
He hasn't called me yet.
But nobody's called you yet because they don't have pots. So as soon as they get pots, they'll schedule a time for that. I'll send another email out to them at some point, next couple of weeks before we have our next meeting. Discussion on meter reads, like I said, we already discussed that. The town is doing it now.
So what we'll have to do is, once the meter pit is on and we see what the bill is for the gallons, we're gonna have to figure out consumption based on residential.
So
The usage
that will all be
split.
done, that'll all be done right now, the way it's set up, is upstairs.
Yeah.
In the, finance office. They're doing all that now.
Okay.
So what will happen is, what I think is Middleborough will send us a bill for a total amount of usage, say it's 60,000 gallons or whatever it is. And, or not 60,000, but whatever, $60,000 for this billing cycle, and have this many gallons that went through. Then it's upstairs and they'll do all the calculations of how much each bill's gonna go out to for that.
So, I just got a question. So this meter that's going in, who's the check? Is that?
No problem.
It's in Middleborough it's on
So
Middleborough
it's
property.
Union borrowers, they're gonna, and they'll do the calibration of the meter?
They're gonna do everything.
Okay,
It's on their property, we're paying for it, and it's going on their property, so they're in charge of it at that point.
okay.
With the meter readings, I had them print out, you got this big, wonderful big sheet. I had them print out the businesses from Plymouth Street all the way over to, the Plimpton Town line for it. And there's some meters here that there's no reading, reader isn't working or whatever, it's not accurate. So these ones need to be taken care of. I can tell you that the Cornerstones building, what I went there to all the businesses and I talked to most of them. If I didn't talk to them, I went back with a letter and I gave them all a letter, said Tuesday in between 9 and 12, we're gonna be here to check the water meters and your water lines, look for cross-contamination and whatnot. 9 o'clock, I woke up late, I got there at 9:30 and no one was there. Middleborough was there, and the person for that building, manager, didn't show up. Sent me an email back, saying, sorry, there's some miscommunication with this, and they need to reschedule it. I emailed Middleborough, let them know, hey, this is what's going on, so that they can go back and take a look at that at another time. Their guy does it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I'm just waiting for Middleborough to get back to me, so I can go back and I'll do the same thing again, I'll just walk around, talk to everyone, and let them know. But what was interesting is the usage of the businesses from that point. from Plymouth Street for business areas up. Their total gallons that they use is 5,680,477.
Per year?
That's annually, yeah. So I did that out, and it comes out to a daily usage of about 15,000 gallons, 15,563 gallons. And then I added the 3,000 for Route 44 development property, if that brings up to 18,000. And if I did my numbers right with our rate at $10.40, it pretty much came up to $190 a day, because it's per 1,000 gallons. And yearly, it's $69,350 a year, and can we run our plant on that amount of money?
Well, you're missing
60
you're missing some commercial readings here too, right?
So, yeah, we are missing, but some of them, like, where it says LHB, those are vacant properties. Some of those are vacant properties that he doesn't have rented out. And Century 21, they moved from one office to a smaller office there, so that'll change. But when it was funny, was talking to Century 21, is that they had said that they don't drink the water. The water doesn't really, they don't use it a lot, so it comes out brown or whatever, from it, who knows if it's from their pipes or whatever, or just sitting there, but they actually use bottled water for everything they do there, so that's not really encouraging. But like I said, I can't tell you if it's from us or whatnot. But the other big one here is, oh dear, that concerns me, because I'm sure they use a lot of water when they start mixing the chemicals.
Yeah, they're filling up their water tanks.
Yeah.
Every day they're filling those water tanks up. And they're one of the higher users at 1,242,400. And so that concerns me, and the other one is Shaw's, the Shaw's one too. So we really need to get on these water meters, because we're losing out, I think, on money.
So
But,
when we meet with Middleborough, we can ask them about ordering that. Did you supply that list to Middleborough of the meters?
yeah, of all the ones that were broken before, yes.
Yeah.
All right, they had these ones because these were already on that prior list to it too.
What about the list that we wanted to order? Remember we went through and did the count? What we needed?
Right, they had all that
Okay,
to do, but I don't think they're not gonna install them.
right,
for
but at
us,
least
so-
we're gonna purchase and we.
Well, that's something that you're gonna have to discuss with them, the purchasing, because that was one of their
Yeah,
things,
so-
for it. So with that being said, if we bumped up just the commercial property, and if we put a stopgap at that Plymouth Street, and the district covers from our plant, just covers those commercial entities and the urban renewal plan, if we increase the gallons is up to $12, it gets us up to 78,840. Still not enough, I think, to run our plant. And then if we bump it up to $15 a gallon, which will be one of the highest gallon prices around, it comes out to 98,550. The more users that go into it, the price goes down.
Right.
We can adjust that price, but that's where we're at right now for this. And then the other thing for Middleborough is to find out what the gallons, if we're gonna still do the 1.5 price, or we're gonna,
I think the
Drop
one and a
it.
half price was still less than what we were.
less we were than the 10.50, 10.40 that we're charging
Right.
for it, a gallon, so, yeah. So those are the meter readings and, some of the issues with them, that we're losing out on the funds. Okay, so next is, topics not reasonably anticipated by me. So the first one was the, Middleborough issue that I found out that they have a 110,000 square foot building, and the MBTA housing issue here, that's concerning, because they're gonna take over the stuff for their town before they'll do anything for us to some extent, but they're good to us now, they're helping us out, they're not in that position yet, which is great. I just think we have to be on our A game coming forward to say, all right, we have to look to the future for Carver. The other thing is a service line inventory that's due on the 12th, that was sent out to me. I did email them out, DEP, to tell them that we're probably not gonna meet this deadline, that we'll do our best, but we'll see with that. What else? I have to have a meeting with the town at some point, Glenn, to find out of intermunicipal agreement to open ours up, which will need another vote for you guys to open it up, but we can have some discussions primarily to it, on getting the amount of money that is spent by the town, so we can at least account that in our budget and then take it out that the town's paying it. But we need to account for that. Everything that the finance does, that Jill does, that DPW does, O&M, I still call it DPW.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We'll probably have Jill open up a journal, and she could do journal
So
entries.
what I was really surprised is I was watching the Earth Removal Committee meeting. And I don't usually do that, but I said, hey, I'll and they actually had a line item that O&M sent them a bill. Said, here, this is what it costs to do work for them. I just thought that was, it wasn't because they have money in their budget to reimburse them
Right,
for that.
they make money over there.
So I just look at that, I'm like, wait a second, that's what I want. I mean, we're not gonna send you a bill one on. If we do, we just have to incorporate it in our budget to put it from here to there.
She can probably do a journal entry to track all what the costs would be.
Right, so that's what we really need. We really need to be able to track, because I did talk to the auditor. I don't know if I said this at the last meeting, but after the select board meeting, after our meeting, I went to a select board meeting where they had the audit going on, and that's right, we haven't seen each other since then. So they did an audit, and we were discussed, North Carver Water District. But it wasn't really in-depth about us. So there were a lot of empty spots in the audit for the North Carver Water District. So afterwards, I went out and talked to the auditor, very nice. They did the same one for the Waste District. And the Waste District is in great shape right now. But I talked to her about the North Carver Water District and gave her a lot of the things that she was not told by the town. So it's really, it opened her eyes up to the mismanagement and the commingling of different accounts and what's here, there, and the other where over the many years. And I said, at some point, we're going to have to do an audit. And at some point, we need to turn around to be able to account for everything. I think we can, because I don't see anything here in the money that we coming in and money going out, but I think that this audit's gonna come up, and we're gonna have to look at that for next year, to say, hey, we're gonna have to sit down and do an audit to find out what's best, and they're gonna come back with some suggestions on what we can do to make it better. Because that's what the audit's there for. It's to make sure you're complying with the finances under the laws, but it's also to help us fix any of the problems that are there. And they helped us a lot with the Waste District, when they came back and said that if you need to keep more control over the money coming in, the money going out, all right, your votes really have to be those votes that are put in and that money going out that you're documenting. And we were documenting on our finance report, but it could have been a little more clearer of what everything was being put on. But now with the Waste District, it's just a finance board now where I think they only have access to about $60,000, and everything else is in bond funds, in CDs, and the money went over to pay the Plymouth County to be due. All this was initiated when I was on the board, and now the money's protected, no one can touch it, because every 6 months, a bond is getting renewed every 6 months. And the votes are being done in the open, so everyone knows that's protected. But that's how important an audit is, and it's gonna help us in the long run. So, those are the things that weren't discussed about it, and yeah, any questions, issues, comments, concerns?
No, I think internally you can have O&M, just talk to somebody who heads up O&M, and just say any work performed down there. Give us something over to Joe, and she
Yeah.
can keep it a ledger going.
Yeah.
This is
So-
man hours, this is the equipment, the fuel, this is what your bill would be.
Right.
And she can keep a ledger, that's all.
Right, all right, and then the other thing with Jill is that we have to look at, I mean, at some point, we may have to look at for our own secretary for us, for this, because some of the things that I'm doing, all right, and just like Mike Palmieri, he was putting a lot of extra time on his own dime and whatnot. So we may have to look at hiring our own secretary or this new distribution operator, looking at them for more assistance with some of the things coming down the pike.
Right.
So I don't have to do all the extra work and whatnot. But, thank you very much. Anything else?
Next meeting?
All right. Attorney Galvin, anything from you?
No, I don't have anything else.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We're gonna, one more
Meeting.
meeting, we're gonna do another meeting.
Oh, yeah, you guys want another meeting. When do you want another meeting?
6th,
Hmm?
November 6th.
Wednesday.
All right, so, every, third Wednesday, I have a meeting for Plymouth County League. I missed the last one, it kind of peeved at me, because I'm the secretary, and
So that's the 20th then.
so, yeah, so I can't do that one, so
You're the
I'm good,
6th though, right?
I'm good with the 6th.
Okay.
Good, because we're not good the rest of the month.
Good, all right, well, that's fine.
November sixth.
So, November 6th,
At 6 or 6:30?
we can do 6,
Okay.
6 PM if that's all right with you guys. Will you have this, other, RFP out by then?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. And as soon as you finish it, if you could send it to all of us, so we can take a look at
I will
it.
definitely do that.
Can we
Please,
respond
course.
back, and if we,
you can only respond to
Yeah.
him, do not respond to all. Just, the best thing to do is to start a whole new email just to the attorney.
right, so he
Okay.
sends it out to us individually. If I look at it, respond back to him, looks good to me,
Yeah.
fine. If you happen to do it, and then Doug does, he can just get
Yeah.
it out,
Right.
right?
No, well, no, because we still have to vote for it,
Oh, okay,
all right? He can't be an intermediary, but he can take your comments
okay.
toward it, all right? And then when it comes, he can't take the comments, make all the changes, and then send us a revised one,
Right.
all right? Until we have a meeting, then the revised ones will come in and we'll discuss those changes that were made. That sound right?
Yes.
All right,
Perfect.
all right. So our next meeting will be November 6th at 6 PM in this room here. Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
You've got a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're done. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.